So I'd like to talk about absolute value a little bit more. Now, again, absolute value of a number is the distance that it lies on the number line away from zero. Okay, so that's what absolute value means. And there's a symbol for absolute value. Symbol for absolute value are these two parallel lines, and then you stick the number in the middle of whatever you want to find the absolute value of. So this would be read as the absolute value of -4. So the question is, -4, when it's on the number line, how many units away from zero is it? What's the distance from zero? And a very important thing to remember is distance is always positive. There's no such thing as running a negative distance. Whenever you travel a distance, it's always going to be a positive distance. You can't travel negative distance, not in the dimensions of our planet anyway, all right? So if we were to draw -4 on the number line here, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, and then I want to find the distance between -4 and 0, I can draw this number line and then I can just count. So 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop, 4 hops, 4, okay? Distance of 4 units. And that's positive because it's a positive distance. If I was at this point and I was running towards 0, I would run a distance of 4 units. That's why absolute value is always positive. So absolute value of -4 is just 4. Similarly, if you had a positive number, if you had +4, the absolute value of +4 would also be 4. Because if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units away from 0. Okay, so do you notice something about -4 and 4? -4 and 4 are the same distance from 0, but on either side. One is to the left and one is to the right of 0. But distance-wise, they're the same amount in terms of their magnitude, their distance away from 0. So if you were to take -4 and its absolute value version of -4, which is 4, if you were to add them together, they would cancel out to 0. Back to 0. So any negative plus its positive version will always equal 0. Okay? It doesn't matter what number it is. -8 plus 8 equals 0. Okay? You could also think of it as subtraction. So if you have -4, you have -4 plus 4 equals 0. That's kind of like 4 minus 4 equals 0. Or 4 plus -4 equals 0. So all of these statements, all of these equations are absolutely true. -4 plus 4 is 0. Do you see that if you do -4 plus 4, it's the same thing as 4 plus -4? So I just rewrote it opposite here. So -4 plus 4 is the same thing as -4 plus 4. It doesn't matter that I swap these around. They still are all going to be added together on one side. And when you have the same number but with different signs and you add them together, you come up with them annihilating each other and you're left with 0. It's the same thing as if you took 2 positives and subtracted one of the positives from itself, you get 0. Okay? So that's why sometimes when you write 4 minus 4 equals 0, you could also think of it as 4 plus -4 equals 0. You see? So if you want to, you can turn that negative, that minus, into a plus negative. And it's the exact same thing in the end. Okay? So you can think of it however you like, but these are all very valid, equally valid ways of thinking about what the operation is happening. And it all basically comes from this idea of absolute 0, this distance from 0. All right. How about we talk about the distance between two numbers on the number line that don't involve 0 at all? So let's talk about this. Let's say that we are at -3, and let's say there's a person standing at -3, and there's a person standing at -1. And we want to know, how far are they between each other? What's the distance between each other? Again, distance is always positive. So even though we're on the sort of the negative part of the number line, if I'm asking for the distance between these two people, what I'm asking for is some positive number of units that is in between them. And so the easiest way to do it is just to literally map it on a number line. If I said, what is the distance between -1 and -3, you should probably just write a number line that includes -1 and -3, and then you can just count the distance, the units between. So do you see that the distance between -3 and -1 is 1, 2 units. So I would say 2 units. All right? And that works even if you're involving numbers on both sides of the number line. Okay? So let's say that we had 0 here, let's say -1, -2, and +1, +2. All right, and my question was, what is the distance between +1 and -2? What's the distance between that? So you would probably just write a number line and then count the intervals in between. So it would be 1, 2, 3. So you would say there are 3 units of distance between -2 and +1. So I'll let you try a couple of those problems out and see you next time.